Nikki. I just wanted to come on here and do a quick update. I am going to be doing a TTC tag that I found online, since we will be doing infertility things on this channel. I wanted to give you a quick background on my husband and I. And I do apologize. I'm looking over at my computer for the questions, and then I have dogs in the background. So if you hear anything weird, that's what's going on. So let's get started. My name is Nikki, and I am 26 years old, and I am married. My husband's name is Nathan, or otherwise known as Nate, and he will be 26 on the 31st of October. We have been trying to conceive for 7 years now. So basically this will answer my next question as to what child this will be that we are trying for, and it is number 1. It asks us what our medical issues are. Nathan is perfectly fine. He's been tested. There's nothing wrong with him. As far as me, I have PCOS. I have stage 1 endometriosis. So basically, it's hard for us to become pregnant because of those factors. It's not impossible. We just recently did some cycles of we did IUIs, and we have done IVF. I will go into that a little bit later. It asks, are you on any medication or treatments for infertility? As of right now, we have basically taken a break. We had 2 miscarriages. We had one on New Year's Eve of 2015, and then we had another miscarriage in February of 2016. Both of those were, one was supposed to be an IVF cycle, but the medication got messed up, so the doctor did a IUI. We became pregnant on that cycle. The day that I took my pregnancy test and got a positive, I started bleeding. So that is when we knew it was a miscarriage. And then right now we're just taking a break. So as far as do we use OPKs? No, I have in the past. However, I am not now, due to the fact that we aren't trying, and I always have a line due to PCOS on my OPKs. It asks if I'm crazy about taking pregnancy tests. Yes, I am. Since we've had so much troubles, I always just want to see that positive. And then since we have had our 2 miscarriages, during those miscarriages I kept taking pregnancy tests to see if they were still positive. So yes, I am. How many tests do I normally have in my cabinet? I don't have any. I always just go and buy them if I feel the need. I always do the dollar test or the 88-cent test at Walmart. How many times a day do I test? I normally just test in the mornings, as far as pregnancy goes. Do you live on YouTube watching live pregnancy tests for the DPO you are on? Yes, I have been. I've learned that I need to stay off of YouTube and Google, as everybody's situation is different. They don't have the same, basically, chemistry that I do. Has your significant other threatened to hide all of the tests in the house if you don't stop buying them, to look at your pee on a stick, trying to conceive, convincing them that there's a second line? No, he's not really threatened to hide them. I think it maybe upsets him that I always try to convince that there's a second line. And do I wait to start testing after my mess period? No. I usually go and test like normally I have a ovulation injection, HCG injection, so I test the HCG out of my system, so that it's no longer there, and I know that if I get a positive, that it is a positive. Does everyone in your family know that you're trying to conceive? Yes. Everybody in my family does know that we are trying to conceive, since we have been trying for 7 years, because after every family get-together and all of that, basically every question every time is, when are you going to have kids? When are you going to have a baby? It does get discouraging because everybody else that we know has had a baby or has had 2 or 3 babies, in the process of us trying to have one, and planning everybody's baby showers for them does get very discouraging. I have to be happy for everybody, so I just keep my head up and stay positive. Do I want a boy or girl? It doesn't matter. As long as the baby's healthy, it does not matter if we have a boy or a girl. So that's that question. How long will you try before you take a break? Basically, we're on a break now. So we take a break if we haven't conceived within like 6 or 7 months in a year. We normally take a break. My cycles are really crazy, so as far as that goes, as of right now, I've been on this cycle since June the 13th and have been bleeding every single day. It is miserable. I have to go to work and be happy, so one minute I want to cry, one minute I'm happy, one minute I'm mad and want to punch somebody in the face. So as far as that goes, it really does suck, and I hate taking a break because of that. So with that being said, it is hard to try whenever you're bleeding for so long because you don't want to do anything. Is my significant other on the same page as far as TTC? Yes, finally we are on the same page. We did, there for a while. It was like, if it happens, it happens. If it doesn't, it doesn't for him. But as far as me, I've always, wanted to continue to try, and it did always make me upset as far as that goes. Whenever every month we were not getting a positive. I've learned that basically you have to talk to somebody about everything, and keep positive, because it does get very discouraging. So back to the stuff that we have tried. Basically, I have done every combination of medication that you could possibly think of. I don't ovulate on my own, so without ovulation, obviously you cannot get pregnant. So the doctor would prescribe me. I've taken Clomid, I've taken Femera, Letrozole. I've taken those both together. I've done injections where I overstimulated, basically. I have done IUIs without injections. I've done IUIs with injections, which we became again pregnant in December because we were trying IVF. My doctor lowered one of my medications, which then caused my estrogen to drop, so we could not go forth with the IVF procedure. So she did an IUI, and she didn't charge us for the IUI. We did become pregnant. The moment that I took my pregnancy test, I did start bleeding. I didn't want to call my doctor that day because it was Christmas. And I didn't want to bother her, but I should have. So when I called her, she asked how long I had been bleeding, so then I told her, and she prescribed or put me on, since I already had all of the medication for the IVF cycle, I already had progesterone injections. So we did the progesterone injections every day, and then we went in every 48 hours to check, and we went in and it was positive, but it was low. So she wanted me to come back and do it again in 48 hours. So we went back and it had dropped. So we knew we were miscarrying at that point. And that was the worst feeling ever after trying for so long and then getting pregnant and then losing it. So then we waited and we had to do a lead-in month of birth control in order to do another IVF cycle. And in order for our insurance to cover it, we had to meet our deductible. So since the doctor said she had messed up, she decided that she would help us with the coverage for that cycle. So we went ahead and did it, and we got 10 eggs or 10 follicles whenever we did the retrieval. Out of the 10, 8 fertilized, and out of the 8, they all made it to the 5-day. We transferred 2 back, and then we had 3 left. So basically we only had 5 total at day 5. I apologize. We transferred 2 back, thinking, you know, that would give us our best chance. If we had twins, we had twins. It didn't matter, whatever God gave us. So we waited, and I was on bed rest for 48 hours. And then after that bed rest, I was able to get up and do my regular function again. I had some back pain and all of that, so I just thought maybe it was implantation. And so then 7 days later, I was supposed to test. So when I tested, it was negative. I went in for blood work. She said it was negative. I still hadn't started my cycle, which was weird. So 2 days later, I took a pregnancy test, and there was a second line. So that was on a Sunday. So I said, if it's a positive, I will go back in on Monday and take a test on Monday morning, and if it was positive, I would call her. So when I took it that morning, it was positive, so I called her. She said come in for blood work. So when I did, my numbers were low. Anything over 5 they consider positive, and mine was a 9. And at that time I should have been close to 50, because they knew exactly when everything was fertilized and should have implanted and all of that. So we did again 48 hours. My number went up 1, so it went from a 10 to 11. And then, because it's supposed to double. So then I went back 48 hours later, and then it went from an 11 to a 9. So that point, she told me that I was miscarrying and that it would not be a viable pregnancy. Again, 2 times in a row. So at this point, she has decided that now she wants to do a blood work to see if it's chromosomal issue, which in my opinion she should have done way before I started IVF, which makes me upset. So that's kind of why we've taken a break. We'll keep trying. I don't know where we'll go at from here. If you have any questions, just comment down below. This video is getting a little lengthy, so I'm just going to stop it here. And if you could like, comment, and subscribe. The subscribe button is in the top left corner, or it should be, or around there. It's a little red button. If you could just subscribe to my channel and maybe leave a comment or a positive thought or a prayer, that would be wonderful.